Hey guys, so for today's video, I did another makeup look on my mom. You guys loved the first video I did with her. Like, that video got so many positive comments. We were both just like shook by that. So like I said in that first video, I kind of want to make this a series on my channel and do my mom's makeup maybe like once a month or so. So today we did something kind of purpley, mauve-y, and smoky, definitely more intense than the first video we did. I actually asked you guys on Instagram what palette you want me to use on her next, and my mom actually responded with the ColourPop Making Mauves palette, and I looked at my collection and I don't own that palette anymore, so I dug through my collection and found something kind of similar. It is the Sigma Hazy palette. It's one of their 9-pan palettes that looks like this. So this palette still has those kind of soft mauve tones in it. So if you want to see a smokier mauve tone look on my 59-year-old mother, go ahead and keep on watching. But before we get started, this video is kindly sponsored by HelloFresh. And I'm so excited about this sponsorship because I have been a HelloFresh customer, like paying for it by myself for over like 5 years now. I freaking love HelloFresh. Let me tell you why. The main reason why I love HelloFresh is that it makes my life so much easier because I personally hate trying to plan out meals for the week. Like, I get stressed thinking about how am I gonna feed myself every day for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? But I know that every week I'm gonna get my box from HelloFresh. I get the 3 meals for 2 people just for me and my boyfriend, and it makes my life so much easier. The meals are so delicious, and I don't have to stress about planning out my meals for the week. The other night we made the sesame soy pork bowls, and oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite recipes because I love bowls. Like, anything with rice as a base is just my favorite, and this meal was so easy to make, so I'm gonna pop up some clips of us making that meal while I talk a little bit more about HelloFresh. I love getting to cook HelloFresh meals with my boyfriend because it's kind of like quality time we spend together. He loves to help me cook. He calls himself the sous chef, so he does all like the chopping and preparing and the sauces, and I do all of like the actual cooking. Like I said, I've been a HelloFresh customer for years, and there hasn't been a meal that I've been disappointed with, but I also love their service because it lets me try things that I normally wouldn't try. The other day we made these fried chicken sandwiches in the air fryer, and my boyfriend loved the sandwiches. Like, he said he would rather eat those over a Chick-fil-A grilled sandwich, which is saying a lot. I personally wouldn't have tried to make a fried chicken sandwich at home, but HelloFresh's instructions are so easy to follow. I personally pick meals from the meat and veggie plan, but they also offer pescatarian, family-friendly meals, and more. And I'm also able to make the HelloFresh meals fit into my macros, which is very important to me. They recently added this Hello Custom feature that allows you to customize your box by swapping out proteins. So for example, if a box comes with pork and maybe we want more of a leaner meat, we can swap that out for chicken. So the Hello Custom just means more choices, more variety, and more meals that are truly tailored to you. Get it off. So good.
You get none.
So if you guys want to check out HelloFresh, just go to HelloFresh.com and use my code AngelaBright16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into my mom's makeup tutorial. So I started off filling in my mom's brow with a brow pencil. I just used this one from Sephora collection. It's in the shade medium brown and it worked perfectly for her. And then I went in with my favorite eyeshadow primer as always. It is the Rare Beauty one, and I applied that all over her lids. And then I just set her lids using the RCMA No Color Powder. This is how I always prime my eyes and anyone else's eyes for eyeshadow. And for my palette today, I used the Sigma Hazy palette. And I started with the shade Mist on a Sigma E25, and I blended that throughout her entire crease as a nice little transition shade. And then I took a Sigma E54 in the shade Petal and I placed that along her entire eyelid. I knew I was going to go in with one of the shimmers later on, and I wanted somewhat of a base for it, so this is kind of acting as a base for the shimmers later on. And then I went back to my E25 and I just softly blended that out in the crease. So I just packed that shade all along her mobile eyelid. And then I took the shade Daydreamer and I placed that on the inner part of her lid. I tried to use the E54 at first, but it just wasn't punchy enough for me. So I did go in with my finger with that same shade just to make it more intense, and I thought that looked much better. And then again, I went back to my blending brush and just softly blending around that shimmer. And then I took a Sigma E42 in the shade Melancholy, and I just lightly added that to the outer part of her lid to add some depth and definition. And then of course, when I needed to blend, just going back with the E25. So I kind of layered up the Melancholy shade and then blended out, added more, blended it out. I just kept going back and forth until I was happy with how it looked. And then I took a makeup wipe and just cleaned up any fallout that was on her cheeks. And then I moved on to the face makeup. So I started with the Too Faced Hangover Primer just for a nice hydrating primer. I applied that all over her face, and then I went in with her foundation. This is the Too Faced Born This Way. I think the shade was Natural Beige. I thought the shade was a little bit too dark for her, but honestly her arms and her chest are really, really tan. So if it looks a little dark, that's why. But once everything was done, I thought it looked pretty good. And my mom does like a good medium to full coverage. That's just her preference, which is why she loves this foundation. And then I went in with the NARS Pot Concealer in Custard, and I just added that on a couple sunspots on her face. Because I am doing a darker, more intense eye look today, I wanted her skin to look pretty flawless. So that's why I'm adding a little bit more coverage with this concealer. And I'm using a Sigma F64 Soft Blend Concealer to apply this. And then I went in with my favorite under eye product. This is the Sigma Color Correcting Eye Brightening Duo. So freaking good. So I applied that underneath her eyes. And then I recently got this concealer from Saie. This is the Hydrabeam concealer, and I thought this would look really good on her because it's like a light to medium coverage, but it's super hydrating. So I applied a light layer of that under her eyes using that same Sigma concealer brush to blend it out. And then again, I went back in with that RCMA No Color Powder, and I just used that to lightly set her under eyes. And last time I did her makeup, I used all cream products, which I thought looked really good. So I wanted to use a cream bronzer. So I went in with the Saie Sunmelt in Light Bronze and realized it was way too light for her. It was like barely showing up, so I had to switch bronzers. I switched to the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in Happy Soul, and this one showed up perfectly on her. It was so creamy, so nice and pigmented. I just recently got these Rare Beauty sticks because they were out of stock for so long, and they are as good as everyone says they are. I understand the hype now. And then for blush, I used another cream blush. This is the Rare Beauty Nearly Neutral. I wanted something slightly more cool toned since her eyes are obviously cool toned, and this is just a beautiful neutral color. And I'm using the same exact brush I used to apply her foundation and cream bronzer and everything. And then I went in with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter just to add a little bit of a highlight to her face. I love the glow that this product gives. And then it was time to move on to the under eyes. So I took a Sigma E21 in that matte shade Petal, and I just placed that along her entire lower lash line. And then I took that lighter shade Mist on the Sigma E42 and used that to blend out the lower lash line. And then for an inner corner highlight, I took the Sigma highlighter in Moonbeam. And I just applied that to her inner corners using a Sigma L04. And then I had her do her liner off camera. She did it herself. She just used a black liquid liner and she applied some mascara. We decided to not do fake eyelashes today just because she's just not a fan of them, and that's totally fine. And then I thought we were done, but then I realized I forgot lips. So I just popped on the Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream and Fenty Glow. And that is the final look on my mom. Definitely darker and smokier than the last video we did, but let me know your thoughts on this look. I love how these tones contrast with her blue eyes. Alright, and that is going to wrap up my mom's makeup look. Let me know your thoughts on how it turned out. It was a little bit smoky, but I think it was kind of fun and different for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.